Monday Ramble.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Monday Ramble. I'm flanked on both sides by two giants of Sun Racing, Jack Keene and Callum Jamieson.
Two absolute flankers.
Yeah, flankers indeed. It's rugby in the news.
It is.
Flanked by flankers. This week, let's talk about Solo. Triumph Hurdle, how impressive was he? Triumph Hurdle already looking like a very competitive race, with the likes of Goshen, All Mankind and Aspire Tower heading the market, but they've been usurped by Solo, who is so impressive when winning the Adonis Hurdle at the Nicholls camp. Harry called him barely moved the muscle in the closing stages. Jack, what do we think? Is he a real Triumph Hurdle contender now?
Zarkanda Mark II, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, it is very cliche to say, but it was very similar to the way that Zarkanda won that race. Even looks very similar, kind of, come from France. Big rating, big reputation, and I was really impressed with the way he put it to bed. He was electric over his hurdles, and he quickened up very smartly between the 2 out and 1 out. So it's a very exciting prospect, definitely.
Absolutely. Callum, would you agree with that?
He was very professional, which is, I think, the best part of the run. Bit hesitant on the form. I don't think he beat much. I know it was Grade 2, but
yeah, I rather
technically a juvenile hurdle, really, wasn't it? And the Emmett Mullins horse was playing up quite a bit beforehand, and that ran on okay considering that. But if you take those 2 out, there wasn't much left in that race, was there? I mean, like I said, it was very professional the way he did it, and it's got every right to be one of the fancied runners for the Triumph now. But I mean, Goshen and All Mankind have definitely got stronger form in the book. But I mean, Solo was hardly touched, was he? So God knows how much is in there.
It does look like one of the races of the festival now, doesn't it?
Really,
I mean,
race, yeah.
the 4 of those in the market. I mean, they could all be really smart horses for the future.
It's going to be
awful.
Well, Solo's the 4th, isn't he? Because you've got 3 Aspire Tower.
Oh, you're
Oh,
still
Aspire
considering
Tower.
Aspire
Oh,
Tower.
you're not?
You can't rule him out, surely.
I
I think I'll forgive him that. I'll forgive him that.
Would you?
But anyway, it's interesting that you've got Goshen and All Mankind, a very similar kind of
Running
free
style,
running, very keen, like to get on with things. So it's going to be interesting to see what the kind of tactics are going to be.
Because when Goshen won at Sandown, his jumping really improved when he got a lead from a horse. You remember he got overtaken halfway down the back straight, and I think that probably is the way to go if they can control his head.
I mean, I don't think Paul and that were too surprised that he obviously won at the weekend, but they're very much thinking long term with this horse. He's not. Straight away, the obvious question that was put to Paul was, "Oh, is this your new Zarkanda?" He went, "No, not really. He's just we see him as a chaser, and what he does now will be a bonus." And I mean, he's still a colt as well, which has sort of gone under the radar a little bit, which adds another interesting factor.
It's not a quote of someone who thinks they're going to win a Triumph Hurdle, is it? Really? Well,
I mean,
Are they definitely going to go? I mean, because of the win, I suppose.
for the
it kind of
Triumph? Yeah,
forces
no,
their
definitely.
hand, they have to go.
Definitely,
I think so.
Well, the Della Hayes have never really had a big festival winner. Could you consider them?
That's true, actually.
Have they ever had one?
They've had a couple of handicap
They had Diego Sharma won the
Fred Winter.
yeah. Is
So
that it? I think that might
It'd
be
be
it.
fine. I mean, when you're second, third favourite for a Grade 1 of the festival, you've got to go for him.
They've got some firepower, haven't they, the Devon Hayes?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable squad at the minute.
Very much so. Talking of firepower, Jack, I know you've got a couple of, at least one fancy for the festival handicaps.
Handicaps, yeah. Obviously, the handicap entries came out last week. There's one of Willie Mullins's called Sant Roy or Roy. I've got no idea.
Oh, Roy. Yeah, must be
Roy. He won very impressively at Tremor in a very good time the other day.
Breeding ground of champions.
It really is, yeah. And he's got entries in Coral Cup, County, Martin Pipe. I think a County would suit him. 2 mile 1, big field, strong gallop. I think would suit him. So I'm hoping he's going to go there. But to be fair, he's about 20 odd to 1 for each race. So it's going to be one of those where try and keep an eye out to see where they're leaning towards. But I think he's Willie Mullins the other day basically said, "I wouldn't put you off backing him."
Okay.
Kind of had this
That's
glint in his eye about him. So I think he's.
Well, you were there last week, weren't
Yeah,
you?
he's. I think they like him a lot. He seems to have a bit of a big reputation around there. So Sant Roy, wherever he goes, I think he's going to be interesting.
Heard it here first. Cameron, you got anything in the festival handicaps? A bit early to say, I know.
Well, the entries are out now, aren't they? So you can get stuck in. But Flash the Steel, who won the silver trophy at Chepstow, he ran an absolute bum, no race in the Haydock race that the Stony Mountain won.
Yeah.
At 3 miles, the names escaped me now. But 3 miles, that was his first go, and was never going there, pulled up more or less. But back down in Trick Martin Pipe for him, I think you get about 20 to 1 for him. Just the way that he won that Chepstow race and the form has worked out very well throughout the season. They've obviously kept him back for a big pot somewhere along the line. It didn't work out at Haydock, but back down in Trip on what should be slightly better ground, he looks to have a great chance. Obviously, he's only off 137, 138, and that was, like I said, it was a cracking race he won at Chepstow, and he won that fairly easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Skelton did say of the handicaps, he
brought him up
exciting
without even us asking about him. He made sure we had that one in there last week.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, a lot of it's that time of year where everyone thinks their horses are £10 well in, don't you? But you on that Chepstow run, no matter what Dan said, he's got to look quite well. But I mean, it's obviously a minefield of a race, isn't it? But when you can get 20 to 1 for a horse that should go there, he's going to get in the race, then why not?
It's half the battle, isn't it?
The only problem's going to be you'll have 5 from Willie Mullins and 5 from Gordon Elliott turn up for that one.
Oh, I was looking at the betting, and I
it's
think
so
the top 12 are all Irish.
It's just mad, isn't it? It is mad. I'm going to stick with an Irish horse myself, actually. Stick in Discorama if he does go for the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of this horse. Second in the National Hunt Chase last year. I was on him last year, and that really hurt because I thought we were both on. Yeah, I thought he was coming to nab Le Broy.
Yeah, we were making quite a lot of noise in the office actually.
Come on, Barry! Barry O'Neill, yeah. Still can't really believe he got beaten, but I think he's still on a fair mark. He's only £1 higher than when he was then. He's had a nice run over hurdles to get him fit, and
for what race are you tipping?
the ultimate, yeah. Over 3 miles, I expect him to be a potent force because I think he probably didn't quite stay the 4 miles, did he, last year?
It was a grueling race.
No, it's actually slightly less than 4 miles, isn't it? So hopefully this drop back in Trip will be ideal for him. But yeah, I mean, he's around about 20 to 1 mark as well. But there's 3 handicap chance fancies for you to look at in your own time. Whether or not you agree with this is a different matter, but there are 3. Now, big racing this weekend in Saudi Arabia, the Riyadh Cup.
Fun in the sun.
Indeed. Is it the Riyadh Cup?
Saudi
Cup.
What did you call it?
The Riyadh Cup.
The Riyadh.
The Saudi Cup in Riyadh. Riyadh. Is worth $20 million and is one of the most expensive race in the world.
Your salary, isn't it?
Maybe one day. Ethically, it has caused a bit of controversy. Do we think that this kind of race should be allowed to go ahead, or does it need to be looked at further?
Go on, Callum, you go first.
They can do what they want. They're allowed to run. The question you asked was whether it's allowed to go ahead. We can't stop anyone from running.
Well, should it be supported by us?
When you say us, I wouldn't support it personally. I haven't got an invite, I'm not going to claim anything like that, so I can't pretend that I've turned it down and been like this. But the interesting question would be, the trainers that are sending it over, are they wanting to do it? Is it just the money talking, which it probably is? I mean, there's a hell of a lot. It's a tricky question in racing, especially flat racing, because flat racing wouldn't be a sport if it wasn't for the money from the Middle East. Your Godolphin, Dubai, Qatar, everything like that.
Yeah,
there's all
huge
questions
investors
around there. But Saudi is probably got the biggest cloud over it. I mean, their human rights record is atrocious.
Yeah.
And it's things like the war in Yemen that hasn't even been discussed, things like that. I mean, they've bombed thousands of people.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult kind of, I don't know.
Moral point.
It is very tough morally. I mean, there's so much money up for grabs that the thing is, for a trainer, if their owner says, our horse is perfect for this and there's X million I want to run, then I feel the trainers are kind of obliged.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, it's just, it's a difficult moral kind of position you're in then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, behind closed doors, I reckon a lot of people going out there will say, we're going for the money, like, we can't turn down that kind of money. People wouldn't be going out there, saying we support the regime or whatever out there. It's just such a tricky and delicate race meeting. I know.
That's absolutely right. I had the pleasure of talking to Charlie Fellows on Saturday actually, and he's sending Prince of Aaron to Saudi Arabia for the weekend. But he said that he is most excited about doing it because Prince of Aaron is such a globetrotter and has,
a new location.
A new location for him, which is absolutely a lovely angle.
So did you ask him about any hesitancy?
No, I didn't bring it up, to be fair, because it wasn't really right.
It's just tricky, isn't it? I mean, 150 odd executions, whatever it was last year. Probably with women's rights and things like that. I mean, they've got this international jockey challenge on Friday, which has got several female jockeys from around the world competing against men, and it just kind of looks all a bit fake, really. It's just,
oh god, it's the
they're
most
just trying to say like
sports
everything's
hobby.
great here, nothing to see here. You know, that's my.
If you had a horse who was more than capable of holding his own in the Saudi Cup, and you had a chance of winning 20 million, well, obviously not how much it is, how much goes to first prize, what would you do?
That's a tough one. Mind you, if I was a wealthy American businessman who owned a top class dirt horse over in America, I would probably say no thanks, not for me. Because I mean, you've already got valuable races to race for in the States, and you've got where do you draw a line? You know what I mean? It's just it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Food for thought, anyway. That is the Monday Ramble for this week. Hope you all enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you all soon.
Love it.